welcome to Rocket's Fishing Adventures. Today I'm going to chase some bass, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I normally do. I'm going to try and find myself a lure and then try and catch a bass on that lure. So yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to go. I'm going to go to a popular land-based spot where people flick lures around. I'm going to jump in my kayak and see if perhaps I can't find a lure that they've lost up in a tree, and then try and catch a bass on that lure. We'll give it a crack. Wish me luck. As you can see, the weather is pretty ordinary. Had a bit of rain this morning, some storms overnight. We'll see what that's done to the bass. Okay, so we're on the water. First challenge, find a fishing lure. Second challenge, catch a fish on it. What I'm looking for is just something that's dangling down, might be the wrong colour, just the wrong shape. I think I can see something straight away in this tree over here that looks as though it could be a lure, so we might be in luck straight away. This is a very popular little local land-based spot. People come down here, cast from the bank over here, and there we go, straight into a lure. What have I got? It's a bit of a no-name surface walker, but it's a lure, straight up. I've only been here a couple of minutes, straight onto the water, found my lure. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time here looking through the trees and see what I can find. As you can see, I'm right beside the road here, so it's very accessible. Somebody else's float right up in the middle there. You can see some fishing line hanging down here. Can't actually see the lure at the moment, but it's either going to have, well, there's a chance that it will have a lure on it. Something dangling in the tree over there. It doesn't look like a lure, it might be a sinker. Sinker. So only the one lure in a tree so far, but that's all I hopefully will need to catch a bass. I'm going to keep looking a little bit longer for a few more lures and see what I can come up with. I'm a bit worried about the condition of the trebles that's on the lure I've found, but we'll see how we go. Oh, I think I see lure number 2. There's a gold one hanging up in the tree up there. Now the trick is going to be to get it out without falling out of my kayak. Where have you gone? There you are. There we go. A Yozuri. Now, where there's one lure, sometimes you'll find more than one lure. So it's worth having a look while you're in here. It's all right. We've got 2 lures. That one had some decent hooks on it too, so that's always a bonus. So you can see there's a spot here where people come down to land-based fish. So this area along here where they've tried to cast close to the snags, that's worth a bit of an investigation. And even if I don't find a lure, at least I'm clearing up a bit of line out of the environment. One thing to be aware of when looking for lures in trees are things that live in trees that aren't lures, like our friend Mr. Lizard over here. Very common to see them on rocks and trees around all of the creeks in southeast Queensland. And when one falls on you while you're looking for lures, it can be a bit of a shock, both for him and for you. Trust me, I have been there. Okay, so this is the first lure that I found hanging in a tree today. You can see it's been out hanging out in the bush for a while. It's got a bit of debris and stuff on it. The hooks are still fairly sharp but a little bit rusty, and they're probably a little bit big for what I'd normally target creek bass with, but we'll give it a go. I'll just trim off this old leader from the previous fisherman, unlucky fisherman, and tie it onto mine and see how we go. So there we go. I've tied a nice little loop knot onto this lure, and we're going to give it a crack and see how it swims. I've never heard of this particular brand, Zeta, but it looks good colours. A little bit bigger than what I'd probably normally throw, but when you're limited to what you can find in a tree, beggars cannot be choosers. Let's have a look and see how it swims. Yep, so nice little walk the dog action. As it's a fairly large lure, it casts a long way. Before I start aiming it at some snags, I want to get my eye in and make sure I don't donate it back into a tree. I don't have extraordinarily high hopes of catching a fish today. This is a very pressured little local spot and conditions are fairly ordinary, but you never know. I've been lucky enough to find a lure, so maybe I'll be lucky enough to catch a fish. So up here we have another one of our lizard friends looking down at us. I will not go right underneath him, so I do not want to meet him up close and personal. The weather, she's closing in. Now the big question is, do I find a handy tree to shelter under and try and stay a little bit dry, or do I fish on? What do you reckon? I'm going to go with fish on at the moment. How'd you go, fellas? Have fun?
Yeah, that was good up there, eh? How'd you go catch any fish?
Not any fish yet. I found 2 lures.
Oh, you know?
So hopefully as the sun starts to go down,
Yeah, really.
I might get into a few, but
It's good experience anyway, isn't it?
it is good to be out.
Yeah. Am I on YouTube?
On YouTube?
Am I? Yeah. The dog?
Oh yeah, you are. Let me just double check. Yep. Both of you better smile. Nice to meet you, mate.
Yeah, you too, mate. Have a good one, eh?
See some fishing line hanging down here. Don't know if there's another lure attached to it at some stage, but we'll investigate. Oh, I can see a sinker hanging up, or maybe a hook. Yep, hanging up right up there. It's probably all the one piece, but we'll see if we can't salvage something out of the environment. It's wrapped around 7 ways to Monday. The hell have I got here? Rope, sinkers, crap everywhere. Very heavy braid. I don't know what they're fishing for in here. There we go. Look at that. That's got to be 30 pound, maybe 40 pound braid. What are they doing? Well, no lure, but at least we got a bit out of the tree so it doesn't get all tangled up in birds and things. Will my good deed go unrewarded? Just when I thought that I'd finished in this tree, I look up where I've been getting that braid out of, and what do I see? A lure staring back at me. The question is, how do I get it? Because it is up there a long way. One, I want to get the lure. Two, I do not want to fall out. That one might be a branch too high. Success! So here we have our third lure of the day, found and retrieved with a great deal of difficulty, but we got it. So 3 lures. So far no fish caught, but 3 lures. Okay, so I've tied on my third found lure of the day. This one looks brand spanking new. It can't have been lost very long ago. So I've given all of the lures a test run, well, both of the other lures a test run. So it's time to throw this one around for a little while and see how it swims. Might even catch me a fish. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, there's a fish on the found lure. Got to do up my drag. I really wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't. I was off daydreaming, just flicked in a cast, thinking about the dusk bite was coming on, thinking about switching over to a surface lure, and then something's jumped on. It's not a big fish, but I've worked hard for it. I had to even find my own lure. There he is. Oh, happiness. So there we have it. There's the little diving lure. I cast it in just underneath that overhang there. Gave it a few winds. It's a lovely swimming little lure. Lovely strong action. And this bass took a liking to it. It's about average for this system. Mainly smaller fish. But he made me very happy. He's a good healthy little fish too. In good condition. Okay. There we go. Found lure. Caught bass. Mission accomplished. See you, mate. Oh, there's another one. Hey, go the found lure. Go, little lure. You can do it. Hey, micro bass. Whoa! Sorry about the concussion. So, fishing lost and found challenge. I'm going to call that success. Found 3 lures, then caught some fish using one of them. That's what I set out to do. They weren't huge fish, but it was good fun. I hope you enjoyed watching.